Assalamualaikum and greetings to our respective lecturer, Ms. Hanisa, and to everyone. My name is Nurakila binti Muhammad Saleh, and today my friends and I will be presenting our risk management plan on construction industry, specifically for Gamuda Berhad. As for introduction, Gamuda Berhad is a Malaysian corporation that specializes in engineering, real estate, and infrastructure development. It is one of the most important infrastructure firms in Malaysia, and it has a demonstrated history of delivering innovative and groundbreaking solutions all over the world. The Stormwater Management and Road Tunnel Smart Tunnel project, a 50-50 joint venture with MMC Corporation Berhad, was one of its key point projects. MMC Gamuda received notification in January 2011 that they had been selected as a project delivery partner (PDP) for the KVMRT Sungai Buloh to Kajang KVMRT SBK line. Moving on, we will now discuss on every risk that we have observed for this company and its risk management plan. First of all, we will be discussing on the pure risk, specifically safety risk. A type of risk known as pure risk is one that cannot be managed in any way and can only result in one of two outcomes, which are total loss or no loss at all. In most circumstances, such as those involving natural disasters, fires, or fatalities, that the elements of pure risk is present, these events are impossible to foresee and are outside of anyone's sphere of influence. Personal, property, and liability risks are the three distinct categories that can be assigned under the category of pure risk. Buying an insurance policy and transferring one's risk exposure to a third party, typically an insurance company, is the most prevalent way that people deal with unmitigated danger. Now, we will look into the causes and effects, the strategies, and the takaful coverage that can be taken by Gamuda Berhad. For the causes and effects, it has been observed through risk identification. Firstly, one of the several causes of the safety risk is the collapse of the structure. As we are aware, an accident occurred in 2018 at the MRT site managed by MMC Gamuda. This has led to tragic accidents and a high risk of near death on the site. In addition, dangerous scaffolding structures on the construction site can potentially pose a threat to safety. The incidence of dangerous scaffolding will put the worker's life at risk, which, if an accident occurs, will result in decreased production owing to the accident's breakdown and the structure's failures. Next is experiencing a lack of safety officers. In 2017, the lack of safety officers at Gamuda's construction site led to the violation of standard operating procedures and method statements, as well as the unmonitored safety of workers on the site. Additionally, violation of the COVID-19 SOPs on the building site is a safety risk. Consequently, this has resulted in a delay in the project's completion date. Next, we will discuss about the strategies to be taken. There are a few measures to avoid the risk, such as having the Safety, Health and Environment (SHE) department to evaluate the structure at the project site regularly to ensure that the structure collapse incident does not occur again. The OSHA department should also publish illustrated safety checklists for certain types of scaffolds to ensure that the structure is in good condition and does not collapse, reducing productivity. As a result, the OSHA agency must conduct a monthly inspection of the location. Furthermore, to avoid the scarcity of experienced safety officers on the building site, the Human Resources Department will be required to conduct an annual inspection in order to keep the number of safety officers on track. Finally, because of the emergence of COVID-19, we must adhere to the government's SOPs. To avoid violation of COVID-19 SOPs, SHE must conduct daily inspections by establishing governance and leadership in managing COVID-19. Lastly, we will look into which takaful that covers the pure risk that has been discussed just now. Gamuda Berhad, for example, can choose workmen's compensations given by Syarikat Takaful Malaysia Berhad, which offers protection to an employer in regard of the statutory obligation for which will be liable to pay compensation to any employee for bodily injury suffered in an accident. Aside from that, Gamuda Berhad may choose to explore Zurich Takaful Malaysia Berhad's equipment all risk takaful. For the safety of the site contractors, Gamuda can select Zurich Takaful Malaysia Berhad's contractor all risk takaful. This is because this policy is designed to protect construction employees in particular. Finally, in order to protect workers from the financial burden caused by COVID-19, the company should consider taking takaful coverage from Sun Life Malaysia Takaful Berhad, which is the COVID-19 relief fund. For the next risk, I will pass it on to my friend Hasifudin to discuss about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Akila. Now we move to the speculative risk. Speculative risk is an event that one cannot predict whether it will produce a profit or loss. A risk is considered speculative when the outcome cannot be predicted, but the consequence of a person's free will of decision. Speculative risk is the one opposite of the pure risk, which is unavoidable risk that could only result in loss or no loss. And now we move to the speculative risk in Gamuda Berhad, which is a system risk. There are many causes of system risk that can be driven as a speculative risk to Gamuda Berhad. The first one is a technology constraint and irregular equipment maintenance. This is related to the limitation of project due to lack of technology equipment that are usually used in construction work. The effect is it will interrupt via project scheduling and can lead to costly downtime. Secondly, poor planning and scheduling of project. They are related to the manager who is not responsible to manage resources effectively according to the schedule. So the effect is it can lead a delay project and company planning will be disrupted. Thirdly, poor documentation management. The construction company that do not have a proper documentation procedure will experience trouble, like a file getting wrong hands, file missing, or file cannot be updated. So the poor documentation will lead to increase of rework and business activity become more complicated due to the poor documentations. And finally, a technical problem. This is usually referred to the process involving a computations of a construction activity, such as the space, storage using transportation site access. So this will affect the progression of the productions of the operations. In managing the risk, the project manager is responsible to provide the necessary technology and equipment in constructions. After that, the employee who is the charge in operating the machines or technology needs to conduct maintenance immediately. Secondly, is the project manager should track and monitor the entire construction's work progress, whether the work is on the schedule or not. And thirdly, the optimizing the documentation management and using a construction management software will help them to reduce documentation problem. And finally, in order to prevent any technical problem in constructions, the general contractor must be aware of all such aspects, including raw material, equipment, and also machines. There is alternative to cover the losses if this risk happen to the Gamuda Berhad, such as they can take a machinery breakdown takaful by CIMB Bank, Islamic Bank. This takaful can protect the machinery and equipment from physical losses and damage due to the faulty design, bad workmanship, and lack of skill or carelessness. Other than that, Gamuda Berhad can take a contractor all the risk takaful plan from the CIMB Bank in order to cover the material damage. This takaful plan from CIMB Bank cover against the physical loss and material damage. So from any causes other than those specifically excluded in the certificate during the period of takaful. Next, Gamuda Berhad can take the contractor all risk takaful plan by Etika to cover all losses during the period of takaful. Now I pass to Amir for the next presentations.
Fundamental risk refer to a risk that impact the entire population of a society or significant portion of it. This that affect big population such as natural disaster like landslide and flood fall under the category of fundamental risk. This is due to the fact that it is one of the danger that has already taken place involving a large number of people, and the impact has been significant despite the fact that the likelihood of it happening again is low. The first causes is lightning and storm at construction place. This has happened many times when construction sites have building and crane they are exposed to lightning. As a result, employees are likely to lose life or can get injury. In dealing with the risk, Department of Occupational Safety and Health should keep an eye on the daily weather report and warning about thunderstorm. Therefore, they must be possible to check the weather monthly. There are some type of products that cover this problem, like Corporate Solution Group Personal Accident Employee Benefit by AIA Public Takaful. It provides compensation to employee in the event of injury, disability or death causes solely by sudden and unforeseen accident. Workers are also exposed to air pollution. The material that builders use, like concrete, cement, wood, stone and silica, tend to make dust that can spread over large area and release into the air. Because of that, worker nose and throat pain immediately and difficulty breathing, and it affect lung damage and can lead to death. Gamuda Berhad can use environment-friendly tool and product or material. It only management by operation manager must look for material and product that are better for the environment and are made to future greener. For example, the Winner Burger Company offer green body solution for entire body envelope. We also recommend to take Corporate Solution Group Term Life Employee Benefit by AIA Public Takaful. It provides comprehensive coverage to employee and in the event of death and total permanent and disability due to natural and accidental causes. Other causes of natural disaster risk is unstable soil condition cause landslide. This is because the soil surface which is not suitable for developing construction become one of the factors in the occurrence of landslide. Effect of that, building and infrastructure such as transportation facility and pipeline located within the boundaries of the landslide can be damaged or destroyed. One of the strategies is geotechnical manager can be using drone and photogrammetry for data gathering and analysis about soil condition. It quarterly routine by manager of geotechnical management to check soil condition and slope. Gamuda Berhad also can take takaful contractor or this by Hong Leong FIG takaful. This plan is usually sought by contractors in relation to the requirement under a contract, which normally specify the need to have adequate cover or protection for building under construction. Flooding due to continuous rain is one of the causes. As we know, the weather conditions in Malaysia are unpredictable, and when the rainy season comes, it will cause flash floods. The Gamuda Berhad, one of the construction companies, have to face harsh loss due to machine damage and raw material and will increase in expenses. To overcome this problem, construction manager can install water management and detection device. Construction manager must monitor water detection device on riser as they are able to differentiate flow of water, especially when it rains. To cover loss of damage of machine caused by flood can take equipment or risk takaful by Etika Takaful. Next, Hazika will present about particular risk.
Thank you, Amir Irwan. Hello, my name is Nur Hazika Hana and I will presenting on particular risk. Particular risk is known as exposure to loss from a situation associated with specific individual situation, such as break-in, fire, or robbery. Therefore, the person who is affected is accountable for a particular danger occurrence. In these political risks, the likelihood of these risks are rarely to happen and the severity are quite smaller. However, there are several issues and strategies stated that have to be taken solemnly by Gamuda Berhad in controlling these risks. Now, let's take a look on the first cause, which is a sudden termination of MMC Gamuda as the contractor for MMR2 project, which affect over 2,000 personnel involved in the underground works from a supply chain of more than 600 Malaysian companies. Hence, the effect from this, Gamuda will be bound to incur losses due to the flood of lawsuit for compensation from terminated employees. Therefore, to address this issue, CEO, Department of Gamuda and the government parties involved must always communicate to solve any conflict arise. Gamuda Berhad also may subscribe to Risk Advice and Protect Service by Etika Takaful Berhad, which preventing, reducing and controlling risk exposure service. This will enable Gamuda to have a better understanding of their risks before deciding on coverage that is suitable for protecting their business operation. We move on to the next cause, which is unconcerned government towards rising costs in raw materials as the building materials price have been rising between 13 and 20% hike in construction costs. Therefore, developers may have no choice but to pass the extra cost into higher house prices. As a result, many houses unsold due to the increasing price of the rent. In addition, the new policy is required to allocate at least 30% of all property units to Bumiputra buyers with a discount of 7%. The effect from this, Gamuda had to offer 2% from total sales of unsold Bumiputra units to government. Gamuda also can planning on budget allocation to other economic sectors could indirectly benefit the property market with the help of National Property Informational Center with the protection of contractor or risks by Takaful Malaysia, provide contractor and developers to meet their obligation under contract condition. Last but not least, the allegation of accepting bribes in the MR2 project. The director of Gamuda has been accused with the nature of 8.82 billion that was cut from the project to lobby Dr. Mahathir. Indirectly, this can lead to reputational damage and produce rising frustration and hardship among the investor and client. That is why employees and its business associate shall not offer, give, receive any item of value to illegally influence the other party to secure an illegal benefit. To protect Gamuda Berhad from these risks, company reimbursement coverage covering, which is a form of liability insurance that companies purchase to protect themselves against losses due to legal action against the director and the officers. Alright, that's all from me. I will pass to Amira Yusof for the next risk.
Thank you, Hazika. Hi, my name is Ramira. So, I want to talk about financial value risk. The definition of financial value risk. First, the danger of losing money on an investment or business endeavor is referred to as financial value risk. Credit risk, liquidity risk, and operational risk are some of the most prevalent and different financial hazards. Financial value risk is a sort of threat that might cause interested parties to lose money. This can result in governments being unable to regulate monetary policies and defaulting on bonds or other financial concerns. Corporations face the threat of default on debt they incur, but they may also fall into an endeavor that creates a financial strain on the firm. Next, we go to the causes, effect, strategy, and Takaful cover. For the causes, first, Gamuda orders books outstanding. Second, Gamuda Berhad KLC Gamuda earnings have declined over 5 years. Third, Gamuda optimistic about its prospect despite foreign funds sell down. The last one, Gamuda falls into the red one of impairment. For the effect of these causes is, first, partial return of the movement restraint. Second, contributing to the shareholders' 30% loss. Third, delays in the rollout of large infrastructure projects. The last one is lower pace of building construction amid the stringent COVID-19 standard operation procedures. For the strategy of this Gamuda Berhad, Gamuda optimized its business model through effective implementation of value creation, strategy to achieve business objective, and deliver the best outcomes for their stakeholders. For the Takaful cover, the Takaful that cover this financial risk is contractual all risk from Malaysia and ethical Takaful. The Contractors All Risk Certificate protects contractors and developers from contractual duties of civil engineering activities. I will pass to the next presenter, which is Wafi.
Next, let's jump to the non-financial value risk. Under the non-financial value risk, we have identified the risk about human resource management risk. All risks that cannot be valued financially are considered as non-financial value risk. Human resource management risks are also referred to this management risk in Gamuda Berhad. Other example of non-financial value risk is also cyber risk. We have operational risk, regulatory, and so on. According to risk identification, we have listed that the causes, and also we have including the strategies and how to solve these causes and the problems. First of all, Gamuda Berhad has a lack of training and professional growth, which is the strategy. We need to invest in training skills, and we need to require more job experience. And other than that, Gamuda Berhad have a difficulty to finding qualified workers in their company. How to solve the problems? Actually, we need to use, and we can use recruiting companies that specialize in finding construction workers. Other than that, we have problems in managing relationships between different teams and departments, which is we need to improve the communication and make programs between workers, which is involving different departments and teams and all the workers in the company. Also, the causes. In Gamuda Berhad, they are lowering workers' compensation costs. In construction company, this problem is too big, and we need to provide proper care and proper care when workers injured, and upgrade workers' compensation and incentive to all the workers' company. Because of these causes, the company Gamuda Berhad or construction industry will be affected, reducing company productivity and job satisfying. Next, that can dropping the company's reputation and view obliquely by other companies. And also, relationship with distributors will be affected due to internal problems of the company. And also, maybe they face the lost employee trust in the company, such as employee will be not cooperate well with management. By the other side, we have also the Takaful that can cover all or reduce the burden that faced by workers and company, such as we have a contractor all risk by Takaful measure, which is the Takaful covers for loss or damage to the contract workers, as well as obligation to the third parties rising in connection with the civil construction projects. Also, we have second one, we have Pru BSN Anggun by Prudential BSN Takaful, which is it recognize the value of mental health, and people can seeking to safeguard themselves if they have a problem with their works. They have problem with their work at workplace, or such as or others related with mental disease. And also, we have a public liability by Takaful Malaysia. It helps to shield us, which is company and also the workers, from being held legally responsible for paying damage because by your careless and negligence.
Thank you, Wafi. In conclusion, when operating a business, it is fairly obvious that risk management is a critical tool for a company to take more precaution before experiencing a possible occurrence, as the effective risk oversight is important in setting the tone and atmosphere for effective risk assessment and internal control. After we analyze throughout the whole report, there are 6 possible risks in construction industry, which is safety risk, system risk, natural disaster, political risk, financial risk, and human resource management risk. Generally, all the risks stated are different according to their categories in terms of causes, impact, likelihood, and severity. Besides, the selection of Takaful product for each risk are also different from one to another, as each Takaful plan are only cover on specific risk. That's all from us. Thank you, and Assalamualaikum.